Good morning, students. After thinking a long time, I think to start a video recording class. Your first history chapter, that is Rise of Nationalism in Europe. I also told you in the class 9 that this chapter is most important for your classes for your board exam. And the rise of nationalism in Europe starts linking with the French revolutions. Before French revolutions, world has ever seen the big revolutions like glorious revolutions in 1688. It was in the Britain. Next, American War of Independence, 1776, and this French Revolution, which was happened in 1789, is one of the major setback for European countries to have the ideas of nationalism. First of all, you should understand what is nationalism. Nationalism कौन? So people thinks that they should be united, they should live in a country having common identity. ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ଗୋଟେ common identity ରହିବ, ଯେମିତି ଆମେ Indian, American, Irish people, British people. So they have their common identity, and this common identity, common identity, every country wants to have this common identity. So before going to the topic, this nationalism in Europe, rise of nationalism in Europe, we should discuss first the painting of Frederick Choriot, which was painted in 1848, just after French revolutions. So what he visualizes in his picture? What he visualizes in his picture, the rise of nationalism in Europe. And this is a picture which is not only this picture, there are 4 pictures which were printed by Frederick Choriot in 1848. He prepared a series of 4 prints, and in each of his printing, he visualized, he dreamt a world made of democratic and social republic. This picture says that the features of this picture or the pictures of this printing you see, just I'm enlarging the picture so that you can better see the picture. You see, this picture was painted in 1848 by Frederick Choriot, and in this picture he visualized a dream of democratic and social republic, the pact between nations. In this picture you see all the European people are disappointed with king's rule. They broken these shattered things which had fallen on the ground. You see, ये जो भंगा जिनसे सब पड़ी थी, these are the absolutist institutions, the king's institutions. People were not happy with these institutions. They had broken these institutions. These are called absolutist institutions. And in this line you see people of different countries of Europe, they are marching towards the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is a female figure, and people are paying homage to this Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty holds a Charter of Right in one hand and torch in another hand. Each country, you see, सब country पाखरे गोटे गोटे national flag अछि सब कंट्री गोटे गोटे national flag नेकी आसुचंती समस्ते चाहूचंती every country wants to be united, wants to have a common identity. National flag represents the common identity of a country. गोटे कंट्री रो common identity होची से देशर national flag. Next you see what are other features in this picture. A picture आउ कौन features अछि. In this picture you see the people of Europe and America marching in a long line are paying homage to the Statue of Liberty. समस्त Statue of Liberty को respect दौचंती, homage दौचंती. This show that they wanted and appreciate homage. आमे जाको respect दौचु, आमे जाको homage बा respect दौचु, meaning कौन करूची. Now we mean that we show that they wanted and appreciated. तो सबो कंट्री लोक माने चाहूचंती जो माने स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को रेस्पेक्ट दौचंती, they wanted and appreciated the principle of liberty, equality and fraternity, which were the basic outcomes of French Revolution. मु आगुर कहिछि तुमको फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन रो तीनटा आउटकम्स थिला, तीनटा आइडिया फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन रो आसीथिला. से आइडिया होछि लिबर्टी, इक्वालिटी एंड फ्रैटर्निटी. In the foregrounds, this place, एक जगह गुड़ा देखो. In the foreground of the image lie the shattered symbols of monarchical regimes. राजांकर शासन बलर कथा एगुड़ा सब भांगी करी पड़िछि राजांकर शासन समर कथा, signifying the downfall of the monarchical and absolutist regimes. What does this shattered institution, shattered things shows you? ए जो भंगा हेकरी पड़िथिबा जिंस गुड़िक तुमको कौन बुझाउछि ना, ये भंगा हेतिबा जिंस बुझाउछि जे राजांक शासन रे लोक माने खुशी नाहंती. राजांक शासन को कहथला absolutist regimes, absolutist rule. People were not happy with these things. They wanted liberty, they wanted freedom. So what other things in this picture? In this image, people are grouped as a distinct nation, identified their flags. देखो a picture आउ कौन अछि. You see, each country has their own flag. They wanted to have a distinctions. They wanted to have an unity. Each country wants to have their national flag. This national flag shows their common identity. समाने के यूरोप रो के अमेरिका रो के स्विट्जरलैंड रो समाने तांगर कॉमन के फ्रेंच रो समाने तांगर कॉमन आइडेंटिटी शो करछन्ते नेशनल फ्लैग माध्यम रे. एंड व्हाट अदर features of these pictures are आउ कोन अछि features देखिबा. What features are there in this pictures? In this image, people are grouped as distinct nations, identified by their flags and national costumes. This depicts the rise of nation state in Europe and America. तो समस्त चाहूचंती जे हमको गोटे नेशन स्टेट दरकार. मो अगर तुमको कहिछि क्लास रे what is the meaning of nation state, what is the meaning of modern state. Just in the second page of your first chapter history, you see there is one point written, the nation state. The nation state means the concept, and nation state was one in which the majority of its citizens and not only its rulers came to develop a sense of common identity and shared history or descent. This is the nation state. You can get it from your book. बहिरु तमे पढ़ी परिबो. But मो just out के कहूँ a nation state एटी भी लिखा है देखो. A nation state refers to a country with well-defined delineated boundaries resided by people with a similar culture, shared history, ethnic character. It is also supposed to have government of its choice. The people of nation state are supposed to have unity, strength and cooperation. सहजरे आमे एटा बुझिदबा नेशन स्टेट कहले आमे मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट जोटी सबु स्टेट बा कंट्री रो गोटे बाउंड्रीज थिबो. जेमति आमे इंडिया रो गोटे बाउंड्रीज अछि, and we people who live in Indian, we have some common identity that we are Indians. तेणु ये नेशन स्टेट कहले मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट को बुझीबा जोटी लोक माने तांकर निज गवर्नमेंट को इलेक्टेड करंती जो नेशन स्टेट कहले जोटी यूनिटी थाए स्ट्रेंथ थाए आउ कंट्री रो लोक मान भितर कोऑपरेशन थाए दिस इज द नेशन स्टेट and all the people wants to have such kind of country such type of states they are not happy with the king's rule. So this is the picture, just you show this picture and this picture, what is the idea this picture visualized by Frederick Sorio. Frederick Sorio कौन visualize कर से पिक्चर आम देखिले ये हूँ फ्रेडरिक सोरियोंकर ड्रीम से ड्रीम को पिक्चर माध्यम रे एक्सप्रेस करने को चाहते आउ से ए पिक्चर हला ए पिक्चर रो थीम हूँ जे सारा यूरोप रो लोक माने चाहते खाली यूरोप कथा कहबानी पूरा वर्ल्ड रो लोक चाहते दिस इज द ड्रीम ऑफ वर्ल्ड वाइड डेमोक्रेटिक एंड सोशल रिपब्लिक्स. So just after this picture, then another point comes, what is this French Revolution, how this French Revolution brought the idea of nation. A French Revolution लोकमान को भितरे केमती idea of nation आनिथिला. The French Revolution is regarded as one of the most important events in history. History रे बहुत गुरुत्वपूर्ण events होची French Revolution. It not only gave a huge setback to monarchy, but also gave the first clear expression to the idea of nationalism. तेणु कहीं इम्पोर्टाट ना फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन ये इम्पोर्टाट जे राजांकर शासन को ये गोटे बड़ धक्का देता. दैट मीन्स राजांकर शासन मोनार्किकल रूल हेड रिमूव्ड बाय दिस फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन. राजांको विरुद्ध आगुरी भी बहुत रिवोल्यूशन चाहिए, बट फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन यू कैन से द मेजर रिवोल्यूशन which gave a huge setback to monarchy, and this revolution gave the first clear expression to the idea of nationalism. Second, the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from monarchy to the French citizens. The constitution in France came into existence. Citizens were awarded with rights of liberty and equality. So the French revolutionaries introduced the various measures and practices to create a sense of collective identity among the French people. तो ये फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन रे लोकमान को भितरे गोटे कलेक्टिव आइडेंटिटी आसीथिला. ए कलेक्टिव आइडेंटिटी कोन ना समस्त भितरे गोटे आइडिया आसीथिला ला पार्टी बा फ्रेंच टा हला तांगर फादरलैंड ले सिटीजन. तेणु फ्रेंच रो सब लोक मान हेले सिटीजन. यह प्रथम कथा जो नेशनलिस्टिक फीलिंग बा आइडिया ऑफ नेशन कौन फ्रेंच लोक मान भीतर आसला. नेक्स्ट हम देखा. सो आफ्टर फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन व्हाट हैपेंड इन फ्रेंच. द फर्स्ट थिंग्स द स्टेट जनरल व्हिच वाज क्रिएटेड बाय द किंग्स रूल व्हिच वाज क्रिएटेड बाय द मोनार्की. राजा को समय जो स्टेट जनरल तैयारी होता दिस स्टेट जनरल this state general was renamed National Assembly. State general टा National Assembly ही गला. तार तो state general राजा को द्वारा चूज थिला. राजा state general तैयारी करथले. आउ ये state general को जो member माने जाउथले, those members were selected members of the king. But now after the French Revolution, this state general was renamed and the new name was National Assembly. तापरटा National Assembly. Who were elected to this National Assembly? This National Assembly were elected by the members. Its members were elected by active citizens. साधारण लोक माने. Active citizen कहले who paid taxes to the government. सरकार को जो माने टैक्स दौथले से माने ही नेशनल असेंबली को मेंबर्स मानू को नेशनल असेंबली रो मेंबर्स मानू को इलेक्टेड कले. This is another idea of nationalism. Third things you see, the new French flag replaced the former royal standard. आगुरु जो राजांकर फ्लैग थिला से फ्लैग टा रिप्लेस हेगला चेंज हेगला आ सेटा गोटे ट्राई कलर फ्रेंच फ्लैग हेगला. Next, nation now became supreme. That means nation is more powerful. Country is very important. Hymns were composed and oaths were taken on the name of the nation. It was regarded as a fatherland. नेशन नारे मार्टियर्स नारे जो माने देश पाई निजर जीवन को बलिदान करछन्ते मार्टियर्स मानक पाई तांको देश पाई तो वर्तमान नेशन को नहीं करी लोक माने हाइम्स तैयारी कले हाइम्स कहतले जमती आम इंडिया रे कहछु वंदे मातरम भारत माता की जय these kinds of things these kinds of slogans were created to create a feeling of nationalism among the people of French. The next things, the administrative system was centralized. Previously कौन थिला ना गोटे कंट्री नथिला सब जगह गोटे गोटे किंगडम थिला सब किंगडम रे गोटे गोटे राजा थिले but now French became a country and the administrative was centralized. गोटे प्रकार administration. Uniform laws were formulated for all citizens. You know that French society were divided into different kinds: clergy, nobility, common people. But now these things are removed in France and laws were formulated uniformly. समस्तों ପାଇଁ समान नियम. एठी आउ केही रहिलेनी फर्स्ट स्टेट सेकेंड स्टेट थर्ड स्टेट. ये होची आ गोटे पॉइंट्स जोटा कि लोक मान को भितरे नेशनलिस्टिक फीलिंग क्रिएट कला. नेक्स्ट आमे जिबा यूनिफॉर्म सिस्टम ऑफ वेट्स एंड मेजर्स वाज अडॉप्टेड and internal custom duties and dues were abolished. So you know in French there were different kingdoms and each kingdoms has their own weights and measure system. सब kingdoms रे गोटे weights and measure system थिला. बर्तमान से weights and measure system यूनिफॉर्म हे गला. सब जगह रे अलग अलग सिस्टम थिला weights measure. बर्तमान से गुडा सब यूनिफॉर्म हे गला सब जगह रे समान सिस्टम लागू हे गला. Internal custom dues were abolished. अलग अलग कंट्री अलग अलग टाइप रो टैक्स सिस्टम थिला dues थिला सेगुडा सब अबोलिश करगला हटे दिया गला सब जगह रे समान जेमति हमें वर्तमान इंडिया रे देखिबा सब जगह रे गोटे प्रकार टैक्स हमें दउछु जीएसटी. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, the French language was made the common language of the people residing in France. आमर जमती भारत रे हिंदी गोटे कॉमन लैंग्वेज भारतीय लोक माने कॉमनली हिंदी कथा ही परछन्ते सेमती फ्रेंच रे फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज को कॉमन कर दिया गला. दैट देखो लैंग्वेज केमती गोटे कंट्री पई नेशनलिस्टिक फीलिंग करे तो लैंग्वेज कोन करे लोक मानु को एकाठी बांधिबा पई सहायता करे लोक मानु को भीतर कम्युनिकेशन को मोबिलाइज करे समस्त को गोटे सूत्र रे बांधि रखिबार रोल करे लैंग्वेज. तेणु फ्रेंच वर्तमान गोटे कॉमन लैंग्वेज हे गला तार तो फ्रांस रे रहतवा सब लोक फ्रेंच यूज कर परिबे जे कोनोसी एथनिक कंपोजिशन हो भी समाने गोटे लैंग्वेज को यूज कर परिबे. ये हला आ गोटे पॉइंट जोटा लोक मान को भितरे गोटे नेशन आइडिया क्रिएट कला. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द रिवोल्यूशनरीज डिक्लेयर्ड दैट their next motive is to help other people of Europe to become nations. खाली फ्रेंच रो लोक नुहे फ्रेंच रे रिवोल्यूशन मन करुथिबा लोक माने रिवोल्यूशनरीज माने they wanted not only French but also all the countries in Europe should be nations, should be united, should be nation state. This French Revolution impacted the middle class, including professionals, students in several countries such as Switzerland, Holland, Italy, and Belgium. They also wanted to throw off the monarchies in their countries and become nations. फ्रेंच को देखा देखी बा फ्रेंच देखा देखी अलग कंट्री माने से भी चाहिए राजा आमर रही स्विट्जरलैंड हॉलैंड इटली बेल्जियम एमाने चाहिए आमर को भी नेशन स्टेट दरकार आमे भी से राजा को हटई दबा nobody was happy with the king's rule nobody was happy with the monarchy so they wanted a nation they wanted a democratic nation state so these are the things which created the idea of nation in France so जदि आमे कहिबा फ्रेंच रो ए आइडिया ऑफ नेशन कोन ना फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन परे जो चेंजेस आसिला लोक मान को मन भितरे लोक माने गोटे नुआ आइडिया आनिले जे हमको गोटे कंट्री दरकार जो कंट्री रे समस्त को समान सुविधा सुजोग मिलुथिबो जो कंट्री भितर गोटे आमर कॉमन आइडेंटिटी थिबो से भली कंट्री हमको दरकार आ से आइडिया ही आइडिया ऑफ नेशन बोली हम कहि परिबा ये गला गोटे पार्ट द फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन परे केमिति आइडिया ऑफ नेशंस आसिला नेक्स्ट आमे जदि देखिबा फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन परे हीरो हे गेले के नेपोलियन हेले फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन न हीरो जदिओ फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन रे आर्मीज माने बड़ रोल प्ले करथिले तो आर्मी मानकर जे हेड थिला जनरल थिला नेपोलियन तो नेपोलियन आसीगले पावर को द राइज ऑफ नेपोलियन मार्क द राइज ऑफ मोनार्की in France. However, Napoleon implemented some revolutionary ideas and principles in France. He did this by taking the following steps. Napoleon कौन कले Napoleon power को आसिला परे he made some administrative reforms that is called Civil Code 1804. Napoleon आसिला परे से गोटे administrative reforms आनिले शासन संस्कार ताको कहंती से शासन संस्कार बा एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिफॉर्म्स हला सिविल कोड 1804 बा ताको के नेपोलियनिक कोड बोली कहंती what was this Napoleonic code but what is this 1804 civil code which is very important for the people of France because they found something new in this Napoleonic code or civil code 1804 the first things he did the code instituted the principle of equality of all people before the law फ्रेंच सोसाइटी रे लोक मान का भीतर इक्वालिटी नथिला आ ए सिविल कोड समस्त को इक्वालिटी दला फ्रेंच रे रहउथिबा सब लोकन पई समान आईन सेकंड राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी वाज एस्टैब्लिश्ड आगुर लोक मानकर जो माने पेजेंट्स थिले तांग पखरे प्रॉपर्टी राइट नथिला प्रॉपर्टी राइट थिला नोबल मान को पाखरे वर्तमान समस्त को राइट टू प्रॉपर्टी मिलला and all privileges enjoyed by the people of high birth and class were abolished. Privileges by birth were abolished. तनु तमे नोबल रे जन्म हुओ नोबल फैमिली रे जन्म हुओ बा क्लर्जी फैमिली रे जन्म हुओ बा कॉमन फैमिली रे जन्म हुओ समस्त पई समान नियम privileges by birth was abolished. Then how kon hela na this code was also promulgated to other parts of Europe which were controlled by France. खाली फ्रांस रे नुहे तो ए सिविल कोड ता यूरोप फ्रांस कंट्रोल थिबा अलगा कंट्री को आसला इन मेनी यूरोपियन कंट्रीज सच एज स्विट्जरलैंड जर्मनी डच रिपब्लिक एंड इटली ए बड़ी ए कंट्री गुडी को सिविल कोड ता इंप्लीमेंट हला नेपोलियन सिंप्लीफाइड द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव मशीनरी feudal system को abolish कर दले end कर दले and peasants were liberated from serfdom जो माने मागणार जाइंकरी मालिक पाखरे काम करूथले जो माने जीवन सारा स्लेव हेकरी काम करूथले समान को मुक्ति मिलिला feudal system को abolish कले जमींदारी व्यवस्था खाली सती के नुहे नेपोलियन आउ कौन कहले इन टाउन्स restrictions imposed on guilds or guild systems were removed, transport and communication systems were improved. Guild system but tax system जो various tax system थिला ताको उठाई दियागला. ट्रांसपोर्ट कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम को इम्प्रूव करागला. बिजनेसमैन स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट माने एमान को सुविधा हला. एमाने गोटे जगह रु आ गोटे जगह को सहजरे मूवमेंट करि पारले. These industrialist traders began to realize the importance and advantages of uniform system of laws. People of other European countries initially welcomed the French armies, but later began to oppose them because of increased taxation and censorship. I told you, Napoleon did some administrative reforms. Napoleon made some changes in the administrative systems, which was very what I can say, which was very appreciative by the people. ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ଲାଗେ, ଲୋକମାନେ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ହେଲେ ନେପୋଲିଅନ ଏସବୁ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ କଲେ. ବଟ୍ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ଡିଡ୍ ହି, ମୁଁ କହୁଥିଲି ଗୋଦରୀ ମାଡ଼େ କୋଡ଼େ ଯେତେ ମାଡ଼େ ସେତେ, ତ ସେମିତି ନେପୋଲିଅନ ଯୋଉ ଭଲ କାମ କଲେ ଲୋକ ଖୁସି ହେଇଗଲେ. ଲୋକମାନେ ବିଜନେସମ୍ୟାନ୍ ମାନେ ଭାବିଲେ ଯେ ଆମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ସୁବିଧା ମିଳିଲା, କାହିଁକିନା ସେମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାକୁ ଯାଇକିରି ବିଜନେସ୍ କରିବା ବହୁତ କଷ୍ଟ ହେଉଥିଲା. ତେଣୁ ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ ଖୁସି ହେଇଗଲେ ଯେ ଆମ ପାଖରେ ସାଧାରଣ ଲୋକ ବି ଖୁସି ହେଲେ ଯେ ଆମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ୟୁନିଫର୍ମ ଲ ମିଳିଲା, ସମସ୍ତେ ଆମେ ସମାନ ହେଇଗଲେ. ଟ୍ରାନ୍ସପୋର୍ଟ କମ୍ୟୁନିକେସନ୍ ସିଷ୍ଟମ୍ ଇମ୍ପ୍ରୁଭ୍ କଲା ପରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରୁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାକୁ ସହଜରେ ଯାଇପାରିଲେ, ବିଜନେସ୍ କରିପାରିଲେ. But all those things, if you see, increased taxation, censorship, forced conscription into French armies required to conquer the rest of Europe. किंतु नेपोलियन गोटे बड़ भूल कले जे से कौन कले ना वर्तमान यूरोप रो लोक मान को जबरदस्ती फ्रेंच आर्मी रे जॉइन कले कहीं इच्छा थिला आउरी अधिका कंट्री को एक्वायर करवा. टैक्स सिस्टम को इनक्रीज करदे, साधारण लोक मैंने हरान हेले, टैक्स सिस्टम बढ़ीगला, इनक्रीज टैक्सेशन है. सेंसरशिप लगिगला. सेंसरशिप माने फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच आ लोकंकर रहिला नाही. तेणु जो न्यू फाउंड फ्रीडम थिला लोक मान पाखे, लोक मैंने जो खुशी होते जे आमको गोटे नुआ फ्रीडम मिली जस्ट आफ्टर फ्रेंच रिवोल्यूशन, all those things vanished with the introductions of these things: increased taxation, censorship, and conscription of French armies. Increased taxation, censorship, forced conscription into the French armies because Napoleon wanted to acquire more countries into French, to annex more countries into French. This much you remember today. In one classes I will record this much only, and in the next class I will record more so that you can understand better, because continuously it is not possible to continue 1 hour. So I think maximum half an hour I will make it recorded so that you can understand and you can give your feedback. Thank you.